Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero in the pop culture space. Of course, that's going to be movies, TV shows, video games. We do speculation and news, all that good stuff. And of course, I am Mo de Poupe, your resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the video game designer, anime expert, and of course, lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. Ladi, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. Ready to talk about some of this stuff, especially, you know, the Lightyear trailer. But man, I'm excited to talk about all this new news, man.
Right. Yeah, so we got some trailers to talk about. We got some news. Of course, we always have a main topic, and the main topic for this week is DC's Harley Quinn. We finally took a chance to sit down and work through that first season of Harley Quinn of the show, and we're gonna focus on talking about that. Was it good, bad, in between? And personally, I'd say DC's Harley Quinn got a real glow up. She really struck out on her own and kind of made a name for herself. So we're going to talk about that. Before we do that, it's the news, and we always like to get in and talk about various news topics related to superheroes and pop culture that have come up over the week. And there's quite a few things to talk about this week. For instance, we got two new trailers. Hawkeye, the TV series, gets another like trailer to kind of follow up on the previous one. The Lightyear trailer for the Buzz Lightyear. I don't even want to call it prequel, just a Buzz Lightyear movie trailer. We do want to talk about uh, a little controversy because the Eternal seems like it's getting review bombed, probably because it's got LGBT material in it. There's some behind the scenes stuff. There's Brendan Fraser signs on to a popular DC property. Bill Murray lets slip that he's going to show up in a Marvel movie. Michael B. Jordan's his run at the Valzad Superman. They get some writers. We get an update on whether or not Marvel's paying their creators worth a damn. Here's a hint: not really. Uh, there's some rumors about a new Thunderbolts movie and some spin-offs from not only Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but also Shang-Chi Part 2. And Kevin Feige gives sort of hints about where What If might be going in the future. We be seeing some live action? We'll talk about that in the news. So, Lottie, you ready? Let's jump into all these topics.
Yep.
So, trailers, all the trailers. We're getting to that time of year that we're where Hawkeye's coming up soon. There's some buzz, literally, for Buzz Lightyear. So why don't we just kind of like tackle these at the same time? We'll do the Hawkeye trailer first because it's coming sooner. Um, it's a little bit more of what we've seen before, but there were some new scenes in this new trailer, Lottie. Um, we got to hear we got to hear and see Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop a little more, and I think we got a pretty good idea of the tone of this show, and it definitely feels to me, just from the trailer, it feels to me like it's definitely much more lighthearted, much more comedic than even I'd say like Falcon and Winter Soldier or definitely WandaVision and maybe even Loki. So what do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I liked how I really liked how looking at the trailer. One of my favorite parts. We talked about this earlier. I mean, it doesn't really have to go too much into it, but it's just I like how the beat drop match the explosions. But yeah, when I watched the trailer, I was looking at there's a couple of like parts that stood out to me. I can't after watching, I have to watch it multiple times, but I got to see a little bit more of her character. Um, it seems like a really fun show. You know, hopefully there's more lore drops because we know what's her name um Black Widow's sister is out to kill her. I mean,
Yeah,
out to kill him.
yeah,
So we
and
might.
yeah, I was gonna say, and I think we've kind of gotten confirmed that she's probably gonna show up in some kind of cameo. Um, I do believe that's true, but they, of course, they're not gonna show that in the trailers.
Hmm.
Um, I want to note that we did apparently get our first look at the Echo character very briefly. Very briefly, I believe when Hawkeye was maybe tied up, and then Kate kind of dropped in, and I do believe Echo may have been one of the two people that had captured um, had captured Clint. And of course, we saw some other things we'd sort of seen, like the car chase and the oh cool, the trick arrows and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But it's
Yep.
I think this trailer really kind of revealed, like, again, the kind of the nature of the thing. It's definitely going to be a kind of a sort of buddy cop sort of deal, but also that it leans more into the comedic bits that we've kind of known, and come to love about the MCU, as particularly like in Thor and whatever. So
Hmm.
I didn't expect it to be super serious, but um, I feel like this is definitely going to be a good lighthearted. I almost feel, can I say this? I got a small little bit of a Home Alone vibe out of that. I don't know, but am I just is that just me?
It definitely feels like definitely a movie for the age for the season. It's a season to be jolly. It definitely gives you that Christmas like vibe. So I do see what you're saying. I'm excited to see it. I do like Christmas like action movies. I feel like that is a season that we rarely see action movies in. Usually we see action movies in the summertime because they like to have, of course, sex sales. They always have that one sexy character and they want to show them off. But I feel like this is kind of cool. Like I'm trying to think, when was the last time we had an actual Christmas action movie? Die Hard? Like
Yeah,
that's the only one I can think of. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I'm excited to see it. And now adding in that she will make an appearance into the show,
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yelena
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah, it'll. I think that's definitely something to look forward to. So we're excited. That's coming up November 24th. The first two episodes are going to drop. Can't wait. That's going to be a great way to celebrate Thanksgiving. We also got the Buzz Lightyear trailer. Or actually, I think it's just called Lightyear. I
Yeah.
keep wanting to say Buzz Lightyear. It's just Lightyear. And this is an interesting trailer in the sense that, I try to explain it to other people, and I'm like, no, this is not a solo Buzz Lightyear, movie based on the toys, Toy Story um, property. It's I was like, imagine it's the movie that the Buzz Lightyear toy was based on, and that's what you're getting here,
Yeah.
which is kind of a genius. Let me just say, it's a kind of a genius idea.
Yeah.
Like they literally built up all this little, he's a toy based on this show, and then Woody's based on this show, and then they're like, let's just make the show, and I was like, wow, that's smart. And I don't know. Yeah, I got a text from you giving me uh, a rather excited take on it. But what did you think when you watched this?
Day fucking one. Listen, 90s kids, rejoice. We are finally getting what we deserve. And we're getting to see the legend, the boy, Buzz Lightyear in a movie. And this is not, of course, everybody's going to be like, oh, but it's not the toy. See, the thing about it is, no one ever, people didn't see the TV show Buzz Lightyear Star Command. If you watch Buzz Lightyear Star Command, you will be jumping out of your seat for this trailer. Like literally, I was just scrolling through YouTube and I just see Buzz Lightyear movie. Nani? I was like, what? They are making a but what since when? And just Disney and Pixar just quietly. Yeah, we're making a Buzz Lightyear movie. There's no build up for this? You're just like, yeah, it's like one of the biggest drop the mic moments to '90s kids of all time. Just casually put out a Buzz Lightyear movie. Like, I, guys, I love superhero movies. I do, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I am more excited for this movie than I am for superhero movies. Because let's just
Well, you know what, and I was going to actually comment on that. When you were like, let's talk about this on the show, I was like, well, is he a superhero? But you know what? He is a superhero. I've decided that he is a superhero. Let's can we agree on that?
yeah, he's a
He's a
superhero.
superhero.
Yeah,
So yes, this belongs on here. So you may not think, oh, this is a superhero movie. I feel like it is. If
yeah.
I feel like
Like
it is.
I feel like everybody who's like dogging because one of my brother's friend, I mean not one of my friends, younger brother, when I put it in the group chat, he was like, What is this Buzz Lightyear?" And like his older brother texted back and said, "Yeah, you never saw the animated TV show." And it's like if you saw the animated TV show, you will understand why me and Ladi are so excited because the animated TV show Buzz Lightyear is a serious hero. He is a what do they call? I forgot what they're called. Space Ranger. They're
Ranger, yeah.
actual space. They're heroes. You know what I mean? It's like imagine like Buzz Lightyear is literally Star Wars without Jedi's in it. It's literally like Star Wars without Jedi's in it, and it's a really good, captivating story. You know what I mean? And now to see that there's getting a serious movie, you know, and I feel like I'm kind of upset because it's nothing to do with gender swapping, but I like the black woman in the movie, but I have a deep dark pit feeling that she's his best friend. I don't want to ruin it because people never seen the show, but if you saw the TV show, you'll get where I'm coming from. And
Right.
there's like, oh, I hope she's not. I hope that's not who she is.
Well, I would just all I would say is that this is probably going to be not specifically based on that show. I think I think that you should probably view this the way that you look at MCU stuff, and that
Yeah,
there's an original source, and it's not going to be exactly like that. I'm going to be honest. That show passed me by. I was too old to be watching it, and I never watched that show. Of course, I do know the Toy Story franchise, and I know all that. So my understanding of it is basically through the Toy Story movies. That said, it looks pretty damn good. I mean, like for real, looks good. Chris Evans plays Buzz. The animation looks amazing. Of course, it looks amazing because it's Pixar. It looks like it's gonna hit all of the right buttons. It looks like it'll be
yeah,
appropriately funny, action packed. There's gonna be some good heartfelt moment. It's Pixar.
yeah.
I mean, they don't make bad. Their bad movies are still great movies. So I
I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you a couple of the memes before we switch over. I gotta tell you one of the memes that I saw. It shows they edited Captain America, but they made him look like Buzz Lightyear, and he grabs the sword. He grabs one of the like swords that they have in Star Wars, and he says, "Toy Story, assemble." I
I
was
love
like,
it.
"Yeah,
That's good. Um, yeah, no, I'm actually, and well, here's my thing. The reaction to it has been basically positive. I just think it's interesting to me how people can be like, "Oh, Disney, they're making another sequel. They're rebooting something else. Why can't they leave the old stuff alone?" You constantly hear that whenever something new comes up, right? Like
hmm
a reboot or remake or sequel. They're like they've run out of ideas and they will blah blah. That's what I hear all the time, and it'd be on the
yep,
most ridiculous things like did you? I don't know if you knew they did a kind of a remake series of Doogie Howser. It's running right now on Disney Plus. You may have seen it come up.
yeah,
But it's a Hawaiian teenage girl, and And apparently within that show, Doogie Howser is like an actual TV show, so that that's why they call her Doogie. But then people get all upset and they're like, "Why? How dare you?" or whatever. Haven't heard that about Buzz Lightyear, even though it's almost literally a spinoff slash, sequel to Toy Story. So it's interesting to me how what some things trigger people to be like, this is trash. This is trash, and they run out of ideas. And other ones, they're just like, they're jumping up and down and squealing with delight, which is basically what you
Hmm.
got out of this one. I find it interesting that this, and I think there's a reason for it, and it's because I mean, once again, Pixar doesn't make bad movies. So since they don't make bad movies, you can more or less assume that this is going to be good. So, but overall, I liked it. So I'm looking forward. This is an early trailer. It's not coming out till next summer. So I'm sure we got a couple more in the future. So we'll check those out when they come out.
Hmm.
Moving on, we got some opinion. This is some opinion talk right here. It's to do with, I think, uh, I think Lottie, we need to make a segment, and maybe it'll just be a recurring one because shit always comes up. We need to it's called "Get It Together, Nerds," and I'm calling it's official. This first one. Assume that in the past we've already done this before, but it's called "Get It Together, Nerds," and it's for this. Um, Toxic fandom is trash. I fucking hate it because we can't just have anything without somebody wanting to go shit on everything, right? And
Yep.
so, in particular, and I remember we were talking about last week about the conservative nature of nerddom, and they just want everything the same as it always was, and they, any kind of representation or inclusion, is just like knee jerk reaction. So, but some people have taken it a step further with the Eternals, which has apparently been getting a review bombed or was getting review bombed on IMDb. Um, yeah, as you know, review bombing when people who have never the movie ain't
Yeah.
even out. It's not even out yet. Only people have seen it. Only people who have seen it are movie reviewers and like influencers and whatever that got to get a sneak peek. They're the only ones that's seen it. Everybody else is just waiting till next week. But somehow there's all these 1-star reviews on IMDb talking about it's woke trash and blah 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 and all this other stuff. So it's been getting review bombed until IMDb basically was like, all right, enough. No one's going to be allowed to review this until after the movie's actually out.
Thank you.
And so this is a trend. This is a stupid trend. It's a culture war thing, to be perfectly honest, where people have felt the need to, whenever there's something that goes against their personal, viewpoint or whatever, they want to go and trash it. We talked about Dean Cain being a dick about the new Superman last week, and all these people getting their panties in a twist about it. And it's the same thing here, because there's one of the Eternals is married. He's a guy married to a man with they have a family, and we also mentioned how Russia was going rated 18 because of that, 18 plus because of that, and this is the time so we say get it together, nerds. Like, what are y'all doing? What kind of bullshit is this? Like, how do you care so much about the LGBT representation in the movie? You care about it so much that you have to go and lie and write all these false shit on some reviews. Like, how? Why do you? I just wonder, why does anyone care that much? Like, Lottie, help me understand. Why does anyone care that much about that?
Yeah, you said a mouthful, man. I don't see the point of getting so pent up and bent out of shape over this stuff, man. It's so just annoying, man. Like I I don't like I really I don't understand why it's such a big deal. I So what? There's homosexual characters that are in the movie. And it's almost getting to the point that I feel like a lot of people that act like this, they're trying to hide something, or they feel insignificant in their own selves because who cares? You know what I mean? It's like I play, like I said, like the whole thing of like when it comes to like video games and when it comes to like female characters, they get so upset. Like, and you already know my favorite game character of all time is a woman. You know,
Hmm.
it's Samus Aran. She's my favorite video game character, and it just goes. I just don't understand it, and it's just even the same thing. I've had video game characters that I like too that were homosexual in movies and anime. It's just I don't see why it's such a pent up thing. And you know what's so crazy about it? You'll be surprised that a lot of people don't even know that their favorite character or favorite TV show or whatever they watch, the character is was transgender or homosexual. Like a lot of people don't know Haku uh
From Naruto.
from Naruto was a transgender. People still to this day don't know that. And I'm like, Haku was clearly a transgender. And
Right.
they were like, well, he had boyish figure. I said in the anime, if you clearly read the manga, Kishimoto was clearly making a transgender. Clearly is, and he even said it himself. She's a transgender. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's
I
yeah. I'm just trying to. It's so. This is why I said like. Remember, I was like, man, now I understand why nerds got used to get beat up all the time. We get hung up on it. Like I think the problem of nerddom used to be so homogenous. Used to be a bunch of the same sorts of people embracing the same sorts of thing. Like even though I knew there were plenty of non-white male nerds at the time, but they were it's always been a very exclusionary club that purports to be open minded and having like being embracing other people, but it's actually been a pretty closed out club. And then there's this sense of entitlement and ownership of these fandoms, and anytime it starts veering away in a way that they don't approve of, now they got to get all because they're homophobic. Or and I'm not saying that all nerds are homophobic. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying these vocal ones are homophobic or they're racist or whatever, and they've got to channel their anger at the world ignoring what they say should be done with these properties. And they're ignoring it and saying no, it needs to be, it should be the way we want it to be, where it does exclude people. And when it's pretty clear that they're on, their point of view is on the decline, and the point of view of like mixing things up and having new people and new different representation and all that other stuff is on the ascendant. Because when you got Kevin Feige himself, now Kevin Feige himself from his mouth is saying, "Oh yeah, this isn't going to be the first gay hero we're going to have. We're going to have more because why not?" And so the man himself says it. Lord Feige says it. It's going to happen. And they're just, they're angry. They're angry about that. They're angry about all sorts of, representation because to them it's a zero sum game, and if you add gay characters, then heterosexual characters, of course they disappear immediately, right? You add have one black character out, lead a Marvel movie, all the other 20 Marvel movies that were led by white people, they disappear, right?
yeah.
Automatically, that's their thinking. So I don't know. I could go on and on. The point is, fucking get it together, nerds. Like this is some like elementary school shit. Like this it's just it makes us look bad, and I'm just like I don't even want to fucking associate with being a nerd if you guys are the representatives. But
Yeah.
it's it's just screw that.
It, it's to literally change the character so you can make another character look good. Like, no, we're disliking the shit out of this because you don't destroy one character to make another character look good because they wanted because in the second season they wanted this one girl to be the main character and for her character to rise, Hay had to be like an asshole drunk beating the shit out of her. And I was just like, why would you destroy Hay character to make her into a better character? I could understand that hate. But if Hay all of a sudden came out to be bisexual, I would have been like, okay. Mm.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
mean,
change who he is.
yeah, no, I mean, I get that. This is the thing is like I'm not saying this is all black and white. And like every time people dislike a show and there's a gay character on it, they're doing it because he's gay. It's I can get if you just don't like the story or whatever, but these are literally motherfuckers that have not seen anything. They have not
Yeah,
seen this.
they just
They're
hate
just
it.
hating. They're just hating, and
Yeah.
they're hating because they're bigots. And we need enough of that shit, man. Get as I said, get it together, nerds. I'm gonna keep
It's
on.
the
Yeah, we got to keep on
it
putting them on blast for this shit.
it's the so-called man it's the so-called what is that thing called? It's the it's just I don't know. It's just this that hate. It's the same thing. I remember when Last of Us came out. It's just people just review bombed the hell out of the game, and this is just how. And like one of the things that really pissed me off. And after this, we can move on to the next thing. There was you can just tell that these people were homophobes or homophobes or transphobe or whatever. You can just tell they were because they were saying shit that is absolutely not true to defend their statement. Like the main character Joel, he's his whole entire life he's been a piece of shit. It's one of my favorite video game characters, but I'm gonna be honest with you. His whole entire life he's been a piece of shit, except to one person, and that is Ellie. And they were trying to like in the because in the second game, Joel gets killed. He gets killed by this woman who is they think is trans, but she's not trans. She's just a buff woman. He killed her father, and everybody's like saying that she's a terrible character because she killed Joel, and they're mad that a woman who's buff killed Joel. And I'm like, this man killed her fucking father. And and then people on the internet are like, Joel was a good man. And I remember I was watching one guy review the game, and he was like, what the hell are you talking about? Joel was a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit. He did terrible things. He said, I'm pretty sure there are hundreds of people that will do worse to him than what she did. And it's just is crazy that people their hate or transphobic or racism or whatever is so much that they'll start saying stupid stuff. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
it's not even you're not even thinking rationally at this point. You're literally saying dumb shit.
yeah. Well, it's just that they take their bigotry and then become activists about it, and it's then it starts people like us talking about it. So
Yeah.
anyway, get it together, nerds. You got to be better than that. So, all right, we're off our soapboxes. Gonna move on to our next item. We're gonna do some behind the scenes talk. We got some casting news. We're gonna talk about the Batgirl movie, which we mentioned a few weeks ago. They cast Leslie Grace, who was one of the leads in the movie, the musical In the Heights. She's gonna be the new Batgirl, and of course, that kind of sparked some stuff because she's not a white girl with red hair and freckles or whatever the hell like Barbara Gordon is. But you know what? It's okay. It's a movie. It'll be fine. Um, but they also have recently they've cast a villain. I don't know if he's the villain, but a villain for this the HBO Max movie Batgirl, and that's Brendan Fraser, who has apparently been cast as the villain Firefly. Which, to be honest, don't know anything about Firefly. I only know what I read in the article about it. But I do know Brendan Fraser, who I used to really like in like the Mummy movies and a bunch of other movies back in the '90s. And of course, now he's already in the DC universe. He's not in the DCEU, but he is in the DC universe on HBO Max because he's in the TV show. Dang, why does it come? Why is this slipping my mind? I literally was just thinking about it. He's in the TV show um, Doom Patrol. There we go. He's
Yeah.
in Doom Patrol, which is apparently quite good. I haven't started watching it yet, but apparently it's quite good. So yeah, he has some experience being in the superhero thing. But Lottie, I know again you're a '90s kid, so I know you watched The Mummy. I know you watched The Mummy. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think? He's gonna be possibly the main villain in the Batgirl series or Batgirl movie.
Man, it's been so long since I've seen my mummy, but I'm down for it. I'm down for it. I'm happy that they're making a Batgirl movie. I actually like Batgirl. Really do like Batgirl. One of the more interesting people that came from the the Bat. I won't say bloodline, but part of Batman's squad. She's one of the more interesting ones. This is which one is this one?
Now
The
this is
Batgirl they're
this
using.
Batgirl. This is gonna be Barbara Gordon
Oh
before
yes,
this.
the good.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
Well,
the best one.
this is Batgirl before all of that.
Where she got crippled.
Where she got she became Oracle. So this is early on.
Oh
And
okay. Oh yeah.
this is the now what I'm saying is like we don't know if this is true or not, but it's possible that it would be nice if but I don't think they're going to end up doing it. But it'd be nice if they kind of went with the Michael Keaton Batman sort of showing her the ropes. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. It may not be high enough budget for that. But it definitely is. It definitely will have a decent budget. I figure it'll have a Shazam 1 budget maybe, which spent like $60 million. Since it's mostly just going to be someone, you know, punching people, with
Yeah.
no powers. But we do know J.K. Simmons is supposed to reprise his role as Commissioner Gordon, so it could possibly be legit DCEU,
So so
Snyderverse.
so J.K. Simmons is somehow going to traverse both Marvel and. So I'm telling you, man, this is how we're going to get a Marvel DC movies. J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is somehow is going to connect both universes
It's
together,
gonna
and
be
we're going.
it's gonna be into the J.K. Simmons verse.
He's going to be the Nexus. It's not going to be a spider. It's going to be him.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
But yeah, I'm down for this.
yeah, and
I'm down for this.
apparently Firefly is a Batman and Robin or villain, and he's a pyromaniac that I guess is a technics expert that turns to arson, and
Mhm.
so I guess Gotham's going to be burning. I guess that's what's going to be happening. But I think Brendan
I
Fraser,
feel the
yeah,
burning.
I think Brendan
I feel.
Fraser's he's a pretty darn good actor, and hey, I'm there for it. Absolutely there for it. So
I
we'll
feel the
yeah.
burning. But yeah, I'm down for this. I do. That's my favorite Batgirl, by the way. It's like I said. Honestly, of all the like people from like Batman's clan, she's probably one of the most interesting ones. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Dick Grayson, he's cool and all. Nightwing is cool, but it's she, in my opinion, is the most interesting of all of them.
Hmm.
All the other ones, they're decent. Oh, Tim Drake. Oh, you can just throw him in a dumpster. You know,
I
the
think
bat,
yeah.
the Robin, no one gives a damn about.
I think everyone likes Damien because
Yeah,
he's a little sassy bitch. So
yeah. And like I said, it's one of those things. It's like Dick Grayson. He's cool. The only thing that you know him from because he's the first Robin. And I mean, what's his name? Is Jason Todd. He's Red Hood, so that gives him some cachet. Tim Drake just
he's
throw
a
him in a dumpster.
it's that
No one gives a fuck about him.
Jason Todd, straight dick. But
Yeah.
so, all right, we did have another bit of casting news. Bill Murray apparently is going to be in the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. or so he says. He was giving an interview to a German, I guess, magazine or paper. Who knows? It was in another language. But the point is, they were asking him about if he would ever do a Marvel movie. He's like, "Hey, I kind of already did do a Marvel movie." Uh, in particular, he was saying that he wasn't going to originally do one, but everyone's always asking established actors, are you going to do a Marvel movie? You going to be in a superhero movie? What are you doing? What are you doing? Everyone just wonders. And then so apparently he didn't name it. He didn't name the movie. He didn't name the director, but he said, I just did a Marvel thing. And what he says in particular is that he got to know the director. He's like, the director's really funny and humble, and he's cool. And so I was like, yeah, I'll do this movie. And the clue here is that he said that the director had done the Bring It On movie. And so Bring It On from back in the 90s, the cheerleader movie, starring Kirsten Dunst. And so that was the indication that it was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, because the director of those two movies are the same person, you know. And that's Peyton Reed, by the way, the director's name. So Bill Murray's going to be in Ant-Man 3. We don't know if it's going to just be a quick cameo or if it's going to be like an actual. I mean, could he be in 2 minutes of the movie? Could he be in half hour? Is he going to be a main character? All we know is that he said it was one and done for him. He did it, had the experience, and that's it. You know, he's probably not going to go back and do another one. So it's a character that if it's an actual substantial character, it's a character that's not going to carry over again, or again could just be a cameo. So, I don't know. I have thoughts, but what do you think, Lottie?
Anytime we can get Bill Murray in a movie, I'm down with it.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Can you believe it says in the article he's been in show business, acting or whatever, almost 50 years. What the hell? Can I just say that? What the actual hell? But second of all,
Great.
what an icon too.
Great. I like Bill Murray. I do. I even like his underrated movies that no one talks about. I remember there was this one movie he did where he got he was basically like dating this prostitute and ended up getting her pregnant and taking care of the kid and then taking care of this other person's kid who didn't give a damn. It was a good movie. It was because he was
talking about Saint Vincent, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Saint Vincent.
I think we watched that together. I feel like we watched that movie together. Yeah, Saint Vincent was one of those times where because Bill Murray's a for real good dramatic actor. He's a great comedic actor, but he's actually a really good dramatic actor. And dude's just an icon. Like he's the sort of person that I'm not kidding. If he did just like a Zombieland cameo in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, hell yeah, I'm down because he was a hilarious part. His part in Zombieland was great. Just playing himself or playing a fictional version of himself, and I loved it. And if that's what he's doing, great. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is just going to be much better. But if he's an actual character, hell yeah, sign me up for that. I mean, I already want to see this movie, but I mean, just keep on. It's like they put a pile of cocaine in there right after it. They put like speed and fucking ecstasy right after it. They're just like, you want some? I'm like, you already had me at the cocaine, dude. You don't have to throw the other stuff on top, but I'll take it. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's God. The more I think about it, I'm just like, what I can't see how this is going to be bad. Just not at all.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's awesome, and it's also awesome is just that he just did it on the strength of the director. So that's not to again to toot Kevin Feige's horn, but the guy when he picks good directors that inspire other people. I mean, like think about it like this for the MCU. Do you know, Ethan Hawke, who was sort of talking shit about Marvel movie or not Marvel movie, but superhero movies or whatever. He's sort of talking shit about it. And what's he doing now? He's in, and I think he's the bad guy in the Moon Knight series, right? He was talking shit.
Yep.
Now he's in because of who's involved, because Oscar Isaac got involved, and because of the directors that are involved, right?
Hmm.
You have people who previously seemed like they might be hostile to it. Like for I'll even say this: the new Thor, Christian Bale's in the new Thor. Remember when he was done with Batman, he was like, "I'm done with superhero stuff," but he's in a superhero movie again because of Taika Waititi. This is like it's not just that superhero movies are the thing right now. It's that they get great talent behind the camera that bigger name, more high profile people decide that, hey, we can have something to do with this. Well, I'll show up because this director's there. Hell, if I'm not mistaken, Russell Crowe's going to be in the new for a cameo in a cameo role, but he's going to be in the new Thor also. So you get what I'm saying? Like they are doing something at Marvel where the creators are they're so respected that you can actually get a Bill Murray to just be like, sure, I'll show up for that. Why not? And and so we all win. We just all win because Kevin Feige and the brain trust over at Marvel are smart enough to make great decisions behind the camera.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Um, moving on, we do have a little bit of news from DC. We are the Marvel Shield cast, but we do like to sneak in a little DC stuff here and there. So we talked about how Michael B. Jordan was, producing a black Superman movie starring Val Zod, who is an alternate universe Superman. On and in the comics, I believe he currently resides on Earth too. So they've hired some, writers that wrote on the Transformers movie to come in and write the script for this. Um, which I don't actually know how to feel about that because some of those Transformers movies weren't that good.
Well,
Uh,
I could say this: the Transformers writers are actually good. It was the director and the producer,
mhm.
because the writers basically made their own animated show called Transformers Prime, and proved to everybody that, yeah, we're actually good at this. It was the damn director and
Mhm.
people that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well, it looks like so. Let me see. Let me get my story straight. Uh, Darnell Matayer and Josh Peters. So I may have given them credit for something that they didn't actually do. So apparently they are the writers on the upcoming Transformers: Rise of the Beast. So the one that they're in pre-production on now that we're going to be getting. But they also worked on Hannibal, one of them, and on Creed 2, which I really liked. So I'm actually now that I look at this and see kind of their credentials, I actually am looking forward to this because Creed 2 was pretty great. I thought it was a really good sequel to the first Creed. And if that is the movie, not the movie Hannibal, the TV show Hannibal, that's pretty high praise because the TV show Hannibal is excellent. So I'm feeling good about this actually. I'm just feeling good about the fact that they are actually making any headway on it. That there's no, so as of now someone's getting paid to write stuff, which isn't the same as a movie actually getting made. But they're moving forward in the process. So and this is going to be a HBO Max exclusive. So um it's not going to be hugely budgeted, but I'm intrigued by the idea of Michael B. Jordan suiting up as Superman. I'd love that. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It's again this is a small little bit of news, but good to know this moving forward. All right, so moving on to our next item. uh, this is more opinion piece. But this is a follow up on the ongoing saga of whether or not Marvel will ever get right and stop shafting people, not just on royalties, but just generally not being a shitty company that underpays people while they make billions of dollars off of their ideas. So, the short of it is they haven't, but to get more into detail about it. So, Ed Brubaker was the creator of the Winter Soldier. And you remember we talked about how he went on the Kevin Smith's podcast and was basically put Marvel on blast, right? About
Yeah.
how they made all this money off of the Winter Soldier, and they basically gave him nothing, and they didn't want to return his phone calls or any of that stuff. And he was just like, I know I signed the contract and everything. It's still kind of fucked up, and I feel like I got screwed, but it's all legal. And so he went on. I guess he was interviewed, and he was basically like, well, um, after that, some people have kind of got, after I, said that, some people at Marvel, that we sort of got in contact and we're kind of talking. He never says that they resolved anything or that they were going to cut him a check or any of that stuff. But he really just kind of gave the idea that maybe some dialogue has been opened between the company and him about sort of how to make him feel better about the situation. Um, so, like I said, basically, no, they haven't. But it's really highlighting to me an issue with this particular problem, which is that as they say, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. They the more a well-known and high-profile a person is, you know, the more likely that Disney and Marvel are to just be like, here's some money, just like shut up, right? To give them some shut up money. But Ed Brubaker hasn't gotten it yet, and which really sucks. Which I think this means we need to keep on going on about this problem, that they need to actually pay people right, even if the contract says they should pay them like peanuts. They should have the sense to be like, this is $1 billion property, and the person that actually originated the idea and made the property what it is should actually share in that. I don't know. I'm very passionate about this, Ladi. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as you all guys already know what side I'm on. I'm completely on the side of the riders and people. I know it's legal, but at the same time, I just don't understand how these people can make so much money off of something and then just give everybody else peanuts. And it's just I have a problem with it. And they people like this should get paid for what they are doing. You know what I mean? And I just man, I it's crazy, man. I
Yeah,
don't. I mean, like I said, I love Marvel. I love the Marvel TV movies, TV shows, and all this stuff. But it's gotten to the point that these big companies, it's gotten to the point that it sort of it starts to get scary. That do you think that people eventually? I'm not saying they will stop writing comic books, but do you think that people will be a lot more hesitant of giving their stuff away or showing these new stories and stuff if they feel like they're just going to get gypped in the end? You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I don't think they're not gonna. Well, what's happening nowadays is that people that write for comics now, their contracts are better. Because when Ed Brubaker was writing the Winter Soldier, this was before the MCU was a thing. This was before Marvel Studios existed. As he says, when he was writing it, Marvel Studios wasn't a thing, and so there was no idea that, oh, this could be turned into $1 billion property. But nowadays, everyone who writes for Marvel or DC, it's part of their contract. They don't play around like that because they know if they write something and it hits, then it could be a huge hit. It could make a movie. It could make a TV series. It could be monetized, merchandising and the like. So all of the writers, even the ones that come in and get shitty new contracts, even still, there's straight up like, oh, okay, there's something in there, and if they're smart, they're smart, they'll come from other kind of comics or other books, and they'll come in with some leverage. But this is really for people who were prior to that time. And I think honestly, I think that if they don't have to, they won't. And so it's kind of on us and other people to kind of put some pressure on them. Some social and economic pressure is iffy. It's pretty hard to pressure Disney, but you can make a big stink, and as long as you make a big stink, they'll try to make it go away. That's what shut up money is for.
Yep.
I just hope that they'll just do right, because clearly this is a situation where they're exploiting someone and they don't have to. There's no reason for it. There's really seriously no reason for it. If they cut a $1 million check today to Ed Brubaker and said, "Hey, you're right. You did create this. We made a lot of money in that merchandising and so forth. $1 million out of our billions that we've made off of these movies," and he would shut the hell up. I guarantee you, he'd shut up, and he'd be like, "Yay, Marvel," and the rest of us
Yeah.
would be yay, Marvel too, because no one's asking y'all to make the man independently rich, even though $1 million is a lot. No one's asking y'all to make him independently wealthy. We're just saying, look, you made
Pay him what he deserves.
you made it $1 billion off of this thing. You can't take $1 million and cut this man a check. Come on, like that's not, now you're being insulting. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all. So, but we'll continue to look at this this issue as it goes on. I have a feeling we're going to talk about this constantly over the years, because these corporations, I don't want to say they're heartless, but they're heartless, and that's why people have to kind of keep them accountable. A few very quick items. When in the rumors and speculation department, there is rumor that there could be a Thunderbolts movie, which, like, this is a no duh. There's someone leaking like, oh, they're definitely making a Thunderbolts movie. Well, no shit. That's how I feel about it. They almost literally have done everything necessary. They brought Zemo back, and now they have Yelena, floating around in the MCU. I mean, between the two of them and John Walker, why wouldn't they have the Thunderbolts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's but I mean, this was like insider information, and also there was talk of the spinoffs from Shang-Chi 2, and also Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Here, this interested me a lot, actually, in that the possibility of an Okoye series or movie, or which the Wakanda, there's a Wakanda TV show, the world of Wakanda, whatever you want to call it, and that potentially spinning off of that will be an Okoye movie. And I'm like, okay, I mean, why the hell? Absolutely, I'll take anything you want Okoye to be in, movie, TV show, whatever, and that, hell yeah. But also, I think it was highly hinted at that there would be a a Ten Rings, something, either a movie or a TV show, spinning off of the Shang-Chi movie. So I don't, Lottie, there's there's going to be more Marvel stuff related to Shang-Chi and Black Panther. Could this be bad?
No.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
keep giving it to me. I mean, whatever you got, throw it at me.
But Lottie, everyone's tired of superhero stuff. Didn't you see that they had the million articles talking about superhero fatigue, and they're especially tired of things spinning off of one of the most successful MCU movies ever, and definitely a really really good and also successful Marvel movie in Shang-Chi, that's kicking ass in the pandemic. But no, everyone's tired of seeing this. Will you guys please stop making more things related to stuff we like. Just
Well, first of all, those articles don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then second of all, I mean, I like to see me. I like to see worlds get expanded. I don't sticking on the main story for too much. I think can get exhausting. Sometimes expand what you already have. Like I want to see more of Wakanda instead of it being a background piece in a damn movie. You know what I mean? I want to see more of
uh,
like grounded. I feel like Marvel needs to be more. I remember you talked about this like a couple of months, like a month or two ago, how these show like the show is giving Marvel more of a grounded. It's grounding the show because if you keep doing all this multiverse and all this stuff, and I'm not saying go keep going that, but if that's all you keep coming out, eventually you're gonna one up and overtop yourself. But when you have the grounded stuff, because now look, honestly, let's be honest here. Do you think a Captain America movie would be successful if Hawkeye and Winter Soldier, I mean, if Falcon and Winter Soldier did not exist?
no.
No, you would no. It would not do well. You know, let's just be honest. Like, and I could think of a couple other movies that will come out that if the TV show didn't exist, I don't think it would do well because people would just be like, why do we need to see another Captain America movie? Or it's the multiverse. We want to see crazy. We want to see shit blow the fuck up. We want to see galaxies blow up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you ground it, now people are like, oh, okay. The Falcon and Winter Soldier did a compelling way of telling the story of, oh, cool. So we get to see the grounded version of Marvel. And I think to keep these TV shows going, man. There's shit that happens in Wakanda too. Shit. Wakanda fights villains too. Fucking what's it called? Shang-Chi. They fight villains in China. I mean,
Yeah. Now, it's I think Marvel's they're just gonna keep doing this until people literally don't watch. And who the fuck isn't watching right now? Like this, I'm just curious who isn't. Like either you, if you don't like Marvel, probably not, but everyone else is watching. So it
Mhm.
only makes sense. Speaking of, and this isn't, there is no actual rumor here. This is just straight from the mouth of Lord Feige himself, talking about the success of the What If show and also about just what he likes about it creatively. Because it seems to me that the story group, the brain trust over at Marvel, What If is like their kind of show. And by that, I mean, I can just imagine that in the conference room, it's Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso and Louis D'Esposito and the rest of their producers. And they're all sitting around and they're just like, man, at night, he literally says, we just sit, I love it when we just sit around and just like, man, what if this happened? And I'm
Mhm.
like, you know what? Y'all are my people. All of y'all are my people because that is what we do. Like, literally, Lottie, we just sit and we'll just be like, man, what if this happened? What if, about whatever thing that is that we like, whatever nerdy or, superhero-y thing that we're talking about. We're always thinking to ourselves, what if, right? And this is literally a show that just takes all that crap that they were throwing at the wall when they were trying to figure out the other stories and then makes them into other stories. To the
Mhm.
point that Kevin Feige is like, you know what? Some of those we're looking at, we know we might go into another medium. We already know that they're going to make more animation stuff because they are creating an animation studio at Marvel. But he's literally saying some of the stuff from What If could become actual live action shows. And I don't know. I don't know about you, Lottie. That it doesn't blow my mind. It just really hits me right in the feels, I guess you can say, because I loved Superior Star Lord. I really liked Strange Supreme. I liked
Mhm.
the even though I'm pretty sure he died, Zombie Hunter, Spider Man, and if I could see them in live action, I mean, how? Why? Why wouldn't I want to see that? I would love that.
Yeah, completely agree. I Strange Supreme is my favorite one. Strange Supreme, and of course Superior Star Lord. Superior Star Lord needs his own series.
He
Like
would,
it's
he
just
was gonna get one, but of course, Chadwick Boseman died. But they were thinking of actually making one, so they were onto it. I don't know. I think that we are more likely if Kevin Feige's saying that. I think it's almost certain that something out of What If is going to turn into live action. I'm almost certain about it.
yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty excited. I like right now. Again, we're the Marvel Shield cast, but dang it, they're doing some exciting shit over at Marvel Studios. So, all right, well, those are all of our news items. I'm sure we missed something because we always miss it. We can't cover every bit of news, but hey, guys, if y'all thought we should have covered something, or maybe you just want to, let us know what you thought about our commentary, why don't you get down to the comments, let us know what you're thinking. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter, and we'll talk about the news. Maybe we'll feature something that you mentioned. All right, so it is time for the main topic. We're going to talk about the Harley Quinn animated show coming to you from HBO Max. It is a rated R show. It's adult as fuck. I think that's fair to say. It's got a
Yeah.
it is Harley Quinn like you've never really seen her before. Now, of course, everyone knows Harley Quinn, not from the comics, created by Bruce Timm, um, specifically for Batman the Animated Series,
Yeah.
and has in the 30 years. Yeah, it's hard to say 30 years, but in 30 years since Harley Quinn debuted in Batman the Animated Series and made a huge splash and has become a phenomenon in her own right within not just DC but in movies, in animated movies and whatnot, but definitely in the Suicide Squad brought to life by Margot Robbie. And so, because she was in a rated R movie, it was clear that she was. I think it was clear that her character would do well in more of an adult setting, and so we got, the animated series. And in the series, she's voiced by Kaylee Cuoco. So if you watched Big Bang Theory, she played Penny on the Big Bang Theory. Um, and she makes her turn as sort of I would call her a halfway between Margot Robbie and the original Harley Quinn voice. And it's all about Harley breaking up with the Joker and trying to get her feet back under her and establish herself as a true supervillain within Gotham, while also at the same time, getting a crew together. She's hanging out with her best friend Poison Ivy, and just generally trying to get her life together, uh, and to muscle her way in on the big boys of crime, the Legion of Doom. That's basically what the first season is about, and of course dealing with her crazy ex boyfriend. You may know him. His name is Joker. So
Yeah.
we had a chance to take a look at that first season, and to kind of get an understanding and appreciation of what HBO the DC animation HBO Max did with this character and the characters in Gotham City that are featured. So all that said, I got things to say, but Lottie, I want to know what you thought about this show.
I I'm a sucker for shows that don't take themselves very seriously and have a great sense of humor. I love it. I love the show. It's just it's just crazy to see superheroes as serious as Batman making like being I won't even I will say it's zany. Like a little zany and a little funny. Like he will say like the part where he's like he went when he was trying. Remember I think it was the first or second episode when Harley Quinn showed up and she was like, "That's it, Joker. I'm here to take you down." And right after that, Batman shows up and was like, "That's it, Joker. I'm here to take." Wait, hold on, Harley. What are you doing here? It is. And he's like, one of my favorite parts is that he's giving her dating advice. Like, are you sure you still want to be with him? Just like, I just love the show, and it just the other superheroes like Superman. He's like not phased whatsoever when she's threatening.
Lois.
I don't want to ruin the show, but when she's threatening, he's like he's not scared at all. He's already like they're talking about dating plans while she's holding her hostage. I'm just like this. I love this. DC, do some more stuff like this. I love the show. Then the freaking Easter eggs that they point out when Bane lost uh uh the riddle. I mean not the riddle. He lost game night where they were doing questions and they were like, who won the most games in the Gotham Stadium? And he was like the Dallas Cowboy, and he was like, no, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's like, I'm gonna blow up Gotham Stadium. Just like wow, the Easter eggs, and of course, the what was it the Legion of Doom Hall of Fame had Roger Goodell from the NFL in it. I was just like, this is fucking cool. These people's sense of humor.
You know
Harley
what? They're
Quinn
very,
refuses.
yeah, they're very top. The thing is, they're very topical. Like all of the jokes, like for the most part, they're not very mean jokes, but they're very topical. There's a lot of like casual. There's so much casual violence in this show. Just people just like randomly getting murdered, like left and right. Um, I I'll tell you. I mean, I really loved it. I thought it was very funny, but there's the cast of characters is ridiculous. I you know who you know who my favorite character in the whole thing is Clayface.
Yeah, I
Like
love
like
Clayface.
straight up, just I've never seen Clayface played this way. Like I watch this show and I say to myself, this is an alternate universe. It has to be because Clayface any other time he doesn't do in this one he's an actor. Like his entire deal is I'm playing a character here. He's you know what he is. I'm almost
Hmm.
literally he's Roger from American Dad. Like that
Yeah,
that's his thing and it's hilarious. Or you know. Doctor Psycho. He's a misogynist, and he works for Harley Quinn. And he's a misogynist. He gets kicked out of the Legion because he's a misogynist.
yeah,
I love their kind of their poke at like PR. Whenever politically correct PR. When the Legion of Doom, which is full of horrible people doing terrible bad guy things, has to put out a statement disavowing Doctor Psycho because I'm like this is hilarious. You have
they're into social media.
yeah, it's just it's funny like and the Joker is super Joker. He's like the Jokeriest Joker. Um,
I,
he's a
it's
huge
funny.
dick.
What I love about this show is seeing superheroes and villains just blend into society. Like they have realtors that the realtors could talk shit to them and they can't, and they're like, oh my god, why can't you just do this for me? Or like they're talking, they have agencies to find gang members, and I'm just like, what is this? What is this? But to be honest with you, can you blame them because it will make them money? I mean, I'm just like this is fucking
I'm trying to
amazing.
think. I was trying to remember the name of the was it a show or a movie or something where it's sort of like that where the villains go off to they have their little property. It might even be maybe it's like in Despicable Me where they're looking for like the villains are all sort of together as like a group or something like that, and they have to go look for property or whatever. It's just stuff like that. Like it's so like the meta commentary. Like I loved uh Jim Gordon just being a wreck. an absolute lonely wreck, and
Yep.
Batman ghosting him and stuff. Oh god, it's so fucking funny. Just the way seeing how desperate he is for Batman to like him and want to hang out. And Batman's just constantly like, this is just we're just coworkers." Like, no. um
Yep.
fucking little Damian Wayne, aka Robin. What he's hilarious.
Yep.
Just the whole little bit about him, the nemesis thing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like I guess the thing is that a lot of the show is about Harley sort of coming to grips with the idea that she was in a horribly toxic relationship with someone who doesn't actually give a fuck about her. And when she finally realizes this, she still realizes that she's still pulled to it anyway. And then trying to be on her own and realizing that, kind of like in if you watch the Birds of Prey movie, without
Yeah.
Joker, people don't take her seriously. So she's got to kind of like make people put respect on her name. And she sort of starts doing that. And at the same time, she's got to mend fences, with her best friend Poison Ivy. And so you see like it's you could be you wouldn't be wrong to think like, oh, this is a girl power narrative. Yeah, but also it's about these girls being friends, but also that as she gathers her team, that people have respect her for a reason. She's hella capable. You know,
Yeah.
she's super capable with no superpowers, but then she ends up with King Shark working with her, and Clayface and Doctor Psycho, and then her Ivy's landlord. I think his name is Cy. He's some like retired old man in a wheelchair, but also he used to be an assassin. And then you got Poison Ivy, and they want to take on the Legion of Doom or impress them, and it's just like there's a lot of meta narrative about current events and the way women are treated and all that stuff. And then ultimately there's just a lot of murder. Just there's just a lot of murder, and
Yeah.
it's just very very funny. An extremely funny show. And also there's real danger because Harley Quinn's just a woman. And just it keeps coming back around to Joker, you know? And also, what do you think about Kite Man?
I actually like. At first I didn't like him, but the more and more you get to know him, he's actually a cool dude. He's a guy that he's a villain, but he's a villain that's making ends meet. But the thing about it is, he's not going to. He's not ashamed of who he is, and I kind of like that. That like the little part where he was like, he's not ashamed to take odd jobs so he could pay for dating with Poison Ivy. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
If you are a woman and you didn't find that adorable, you have no soul. Like, because you could not like. He might seem like a douchey person, but he's not. He actually is a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he
It's
shows
just
up. He shows up for stuff. Yeah.
yeah, he's actually a good person. And I just like how at the end of the day, this show's about villains, but they're not bad people. They just chose a different part of society. And then when they showed who the actual villains are, you're like, yeah, like that
Yeah.
what's that black chick's name, the one
Oh,
with the fairy tale book?
yeah. She had the book.
Holy shit.
She was she was a badass. I love
That's a
what she
fucking
I love what she did with the Justice League. I loved.
Wait, hold up, don't hold up, don't
Yeah, no,
hold up.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying I love
Yeah.
what she did with them. I loved how later on she was like a real bad guy for them. Like this is villains fighting villains and whatnot.
I just
Uh,
I just like how like Harley thought that like villains. But I have to ask her, what is she what is, that is a good question. That episode where she was just like, "Oh, I have a line, and that line has never been drawn. You have been dating the Joker all this time, so you telling me not once the Joker didn't kill an innocent person?
Oh, surely he did. But
That's what I'm
she was
saying.
in love. She,
Well, yeah, she was blinded by her love for him, but now when she sees that this psychopathic bitch, she just will kill her. She will kill for no reason. Like she just looks for a reason to kill people. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Hmm.
And that's where like Poison Ivy's like, listen, I'm just an eco terrorist. Like if the world was if you weren't trying to deforest the world, I'll just be chilling. I'll just be chilling here drinking my green tea and having no problem. And you just want to fuck shit up, but you
Yeah.
don't want to really kill anybody. You
Right.
know what I mean? This bitch will find any reason to kill some motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love that show. Like,
That,
I really did. I really do enjoy the show. This is, in my opinion, probably one of the best things I've seen of DC. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's probably the best thing that DC has made, besides the new Suicide Squad movie. In my
mhm.
opinion, it is the best thing they've made in a very long time. Because I liked Man of Steel. I'll say Man of Steel is the next best thing that they've made, that they came out with.
Hmm. Yeah, not I think as and it's an animated thing, so of course it's not really canon to the DCEU or whatever. But as far as like, I think its concept and the way it treats the DC universe, I think it makes Clayface a better person. I think it makes King Shark's better in Harley Quinn than he is in Suicide Squad, which I liked him in Suicide Squad, but in he just completely subverts all of the ideas about who he is. And Doctor Psycho's he's hilarious. Kite Man, I saw Kite Man. I was like, oh, he's gonna be a dude, bro, but he's really not. Like he's not a dude, bro. He's actually a pretty cool dude. Um,
Yeah.
and again, Joker is super Joker in there, and all of the various people like Penguin and Bane is, oh my god. Let me just say, Bane is hilarious in this.
Oh, I love Bane. I love,
Absolutely
and the
hilarious in
fact that
this.
he's using that fucking voice, just
Yes.
my God, this whole show is just the fact that he's using that voice just makes me just die
How
laughing
about
every
that?
time he
Do
talks.
you remember this? He's like, I am the card's reckoning. Oh, I absolutely Bane is he is a treasure in this, and let me say, in season 2, it gets better. Like Bane is like he seriously gets plenty of screen time. I think that leaning into that ridiculous Tom Hardy voice and just sticking with it is just so good. That I also like. I can't remember if they did this in this season, but where he gets the tiny seats.
Yeah.
He gets I love it. Just just that entire idea is just Bane is he is a treasure in this. This just overall, I agree with you. I think if you liked the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, this is a show that you will actually be absolutely be there for, because it is right in that line of sensibility. Hell, if you
Yep.
like the original Suicide Squad, this is again would be your jam. It's extremely funny, very self aware, very aware of things that are going on, currently within within our the zeitgeist, and just overall, just this is what DC needs, because DC, I hate to say it, DC's way, at least the movie side, is entirely too serious.
Yeah.
Entirely, it does not. It takes itself far too seriously. Aquaman and Shazam are probably the only ones that don't really. The other ones take themselves too seriously, and this one really, like, it really takes it down a peg. Just really, it's not afraid to shit talk the DC universe in a hilarious way, and I love it for that. So I'm I'm sort of mad at myself for waiting for this long to watch the show, and
Same here.
I'm glad we finally just like, let's just get on this. because it was absolutely worth it, and I cannot wait. They teased season 3 at Fandom, so once we're done with these, I'm pretty soon we're gonna have season 3, and I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited for a DC thing. So I don't know, Lottie. Any other closing thoughts?
If you haven't watched the show, please fucking watch it. It is honestly, I'll put it in the top superhero shows that I've watched this year. Love the show. It's man, God, like this is like it's the best thing that I've seen. Like this is not hyperbole. This is one of the best things that I've seen DC put out in a while. Like, please, DC, give us more of this. If you have to make a Justice League show, make it just like this. I am down, 100% down, 1,000% down. If you make a Justice League show like this,
Uh,
down.
I don't know if they'd be allowed to. I don't know if they'd be allowed to do that. But hey, we can hope. So, all right. Well, those are our thoughts on the Harley Quinn animated show on HBO Max. So you guys go check that out. But first, let us know, what did you think about the show if you've seen it, and what did you think about our comments on it? Get down to the comment section. Let us know what you're thinking. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And we can chop it up, talk about this really awesome animated show, or just really anything else you want to talk about. And while you're down there in the clicking mood, hit that subscribe button to join the Super Not Funny Show family, and hit that, not the subscribe, hit that notification bell, and it'll let you know when we drop new content. And we're starting to get into reviews and all that stuff. And of course, this podcast. And the Super Not Funny Show Supercast could not be done with just me alone. I got my good friend Ladi over there helping me out. So, Ladi, why don't you let them know where they can find you on social media?
Oh, yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram on Okinihun. It is ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. Getting more involved on there, posted more videos and pictures of stuff that I'm working on. And of course, if you really want to get some entertainment, you can watch my YouTube channel. Been streaming a lot lately. Just did a marathon stream of me playing Returnal. I didn't stop the stream until I beat the game. Nightmare. So yeah, yeah. If you want to watch me, my frustrated grunts of me dying and losing things, you can always hit me up on my YouTube channel, KeenyHoon25. You know, like I said, I try to stream at least 2 to 3 times a week. I pick random games that you guys might be interested, and I want to switch it up. I don't want to be that one YouTuber that just streams the same game all the time. I want to switch it up so you guys can be entertained like I'm a fan of video games. I want you guys to experience my fandom in my streams.
Well,
So make sure you check it out.
I'm gonna say I've got a recommendation for you. I got a couple. one
Hmm.
one of them is Street Fighter Five, and the other one is Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers. What's the one on Switch? Whatever that one is.
Brawl.
Brawl. Yeah.
I have to
You can,
buy it first.
well, I was gonna say you could stream you beating the shit out of me at it, because I'm terrible at that game. So, but you guys go show some love to Lottie. Check out his videos, watch some live streams, and of course, hit the like and subscribe. All right, so this is the end of episode 24. Can you believe it? Episode 24 of the Supercast. Moving right along towards the end of the year. Next week, it's the big week. It's Eternals week. Yeah, yes, indeed, Eternals. We're gonna have a talk about that, and of course, more movie news. Superhero movie and TV show and movie news. All that fun stuff. We'll be back next week for that. Until then, I have been Mo de Poupée, your resident fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and of course, lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.